Woohoo!
What's up?
What's up, Doc?
Yeah. Doc Willis.
Oh. Yeah, the great Doc Willis.
Old school Comedy Store legend.
Yes. What's up, Doc?
Today's a national holiday. You aware of what it is?
Uh-oh.
It's not. We're coming off the 4th of July.
4th of July.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
It's a day that probably very important to you.
Uh-oh.
Today is.
If I was saying out loud what's going through my head, you would be like,
what, like?
No, it's not. No.
What are you thinking?
I'm not going to say them.
Oh, boy.
I can't.
Today is Sylvester Stallone's 77th birthday.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I did not know it was
Crazy.
his birthday
77.
today, but I knew because I didn't know what date. I didn't know what date today was, but I know he's a July.
Okay.
I thought
I thought you maybe get like a present, leave it an offering.
Of course, definitely an offering like
outside of his mansion.
But I gotta be honest, what I was thinking wasn't too far off.
Really?
Yeah, because there was a guy I was in love with growing up. I can't
Mario?
really say his
Mario
name.
1 or Mario 2?
This is somebody different.
Okay.
And so he was like literally the guy I was obsessed with, and I was like, it's not his birthday. It's not even his half birthday.
How would I know that guy's birthday?
That's how much I love my celebrate half birthday.
How would I know either of those for this guy?
I don't.
It'd be deep research on my part.
I guess so.
Maybe Johnny Fax, your brother.
His name is Johnny. I
really?
just don't say the end. But everybody knows who it is.
Here's Johnny. So happy Stallone birthday day.
Happy birthday, Sly.
77.
Yeah,
I'll give him this. And I did when we did.
He looks great. Don't start.
Unreal that he looks as good as he looks. This guy's almost 80.
77.
Almost 80 years old. You don't think of him as that.
No, and you guys all shit on him, and then because you're jealous. And
Who's you guys? Me?
Yeah, and my brothers. Johnny Fax and Bobby and all that.
He's an old man still working, he's working hard to look the way
in
he
the
looks.
Morning. They
just
did
give
that.
it. When's he going to be like, you know what? I'm going to let it go a little bit.
Never.
He's never going to let it go.
You never let it go. Not when you're that.
But he's got to be in some sort of pain.
Not when you're that.
He's an old man.
No, he's got to keep it together. Didn't Arnold just put out the Arnold looks insane, didn't he? He has a doc out we have to look at.
Arnie does?
Arnie does.
He's got that show with Fortune Feimster.
That's
Netflix.
A show, but I believe a documentary. I don't know if it's
Stallone,
new or old,
but
it's on.
Oh, he has an older one. And then Stallone has a new one.
But it's on Netflix right now.
We already did one Stallone. He's got another one. This guy can't get enough.
I'm going to have to wear a diaper for that.
Jesus.
Not because he's 77, sorry, but because I still get excited.
After today's episode, we may need a Stallone pick-me-up.
Don't. We need a pick-me-up because...
Right now, we're on a depressing summer tour.
Guys, we need more recs. You got recommendations. You got to give us more recs.
Feel good.
Somebody wrote Free Solo. I don't know.
Han Solo?
I'm not sure. I was thinking a bunch of things, but I don't know what it is. Like Hope Solo. I don't know.
It's about a rock climber. And whatever when he's not mounted, he's not attached. It's a free.
Shite.
Mm-hmm. And he does it no underwear.
This guy, no net.
Yeah,
this guy's got no net, no undies.
No, it's free, totally free.
He just has a hole to.
It's in New Hampshire, the freest state in the country.
So people are like, "It's raining." No, it's Free Solo. He's just shitting on us.
He's pissing from above.
Pissing and shitting on us.
I watch him a little mountain climbing.
Somebody recommended that. I saw that. And then another recommendation that we're putting in there. I can't remember what you sent it to me though.
Stevie?
Yes.
This guy Carrie has been trying to get me to talk about this for years.
Okay.
Carrie. You got your wish.
Got your wish. We're going to do it.
He sent in his money order for the recommendation fee.
We'll pay you because this one was fucking brutal.
This
is going to be about an 8 to 10 minute podcast because it's going to be a constant me leaving and crying. I couldn't even write things down because we didn't have any wacky characters.
No, there's really not a lot funny to talk about.
I know. I was like, and then we try to relate it to ourselves, which made it worse for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Wait, should I take this away? Is Arrowhead bad?
Fine.
No one cares.
It's a sponsorship.
Can they sponsor us, Arrowhead? I drink a lot of it.
Before we get into this, I got to discuss lately at the Comedy Store. I've been riding high. I get my one spot a week. I'm not a main player by any means, but I'm happy. I'm happy for the morsels they throw me, the crumbs.
All right. Okay.
And doing what, in the main room, having some fun, making a little bit of money. And then what happens? What changes?
You know what? I don't think this. This isn't valid.
Eleanor Kerrigan comes back to town, and what dries up?
This is not valid.
What dries
not
up?
Not just me.
My spots.
That's bullshit.
Last week and then this week, 2 in a row. Eleanor Kerrigan. The curse continues. Let's keep an eye on it, and we'll see what happens.
Well, I'm leaving on Tuesday. So, Wednesday.
Thank you.
Put it.
Thank you.
And if you don't get spots again, I'm gonna be pissed.
I will. If I don't, I will say the curse is invalid. But if I do get a spot, it's not gonna look good for you. I may have to kill you.
I'll just move to New York.
We're like the Highlander. There's only can be one.
Ooh.
I didn't know me and you were competing.
Me either.
Your spots are way better than mine, so I didn't know we were competing for the same thing.
I didn't either, but they're like, oh, we need a slot.
You left late night. You're now a primetime player.
I have moved down a little. I got to be honest.
Really?
And I love it.
You've downshifted back down?
I mean, no, I say down in the lineup, like 10
late.
o'clock. No. Oh, I went the other way.
You went up.
Yeah.
I call that up.
Okay, you're right. I see what you're saying. I'm backwards. But my thing is because I used to get anything after midnight. And then
you were a late nighter.
Yeah, and then
we had to take your patch away.
No.
Yeah, we ripped it off. I'm sorry.
I went on last the other night.
Well, we'll give you part of it back.
And then Don Barris yelled at me because he said I ran the light. I said I did it. And it was the night before. It was July 3rd. It was Monday night.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Monday. It couldn't have been. It was Wednesday night. I did.
You did Sunday night.
Wait a minute. What? Sunday. Thank you. That's what. My brain is dead.
I know your schedule because I look and I say, oh, Eleanor fucked me over on another night.
Well, on Sunday, I didn't realize. I forgot we're not open on Sundays lately.
They are now, though.
Now, I hope, because it should be. But on
which it feels good because then there's an extra day that I don't get. So it makes a real good pick me up for me. It's like, oh no, there's 7 days they hate me.
I'm not going to try to hurt you, but it was packed in the OR and it was packed in the main room.
I'm sure it was.
And my friend Lauren was with me, and she was like, I can't believe how busy it is. And she's like me, waiting tables with me. So we were both looking at it like, fuck, we can make good money.
You're like, well, don't call it a comeback. I might start waiting. It'd be consistent.
But we wound up hanging out with Hart, so we stayed.
Yes. Oh, yes. Hart, the longtime bartender, legend.
The great black tie affair.
Black tie. And him and Tiger Woods, black tie brothers. Oh, yes.
So
don't like it.
I don't like. We hung out late, and it wound up there were still people in the OR.
Hart has, 14 jobs? 13?
Easily, but he did get rid of the restaurant.
He commutes.
He got rid of the restaurant. That takes a lot of pressure.
He only commutes like 3 hours both ways to get to the comedy store.
Poor guy is a full-blown engineer.
Oh, yeah.
And then in America,
I do bartending.
But I think he just keeps the bartending because he likes. He only does it like 1 or 2 days a week now.
Really?
So that's why it's rare to see him.
It's a passion project.
Yeah. Yeah. And he got rid of the restaurant, so he's got a little more pressure.
He had a Thai restaurant.
Yep.
This guy legit is like 40 jobs.
And literally was an engineer. Like
he was but he was in the morning. He would stay at the store until whatever closing, and then he had to go to he had an engineering job until recently and go in the morning.
He's still doing it.
Okay.
They have him back part-time. It's the whole thing.
He's back.
But it's just like.
He's a bartender at that job, but in the mornings.
That would be so awful.
Not true.
Oh, I know.
I'll take a vodka tonic.
But like he hasn't seen Lauren in a while, so we were hanging out.
Reliving the old days.
There was I couldn't believe how many people were in there. So the last comic was on. They were like, "You want to go on?" I'm like, "Of course."
You're really rubbing it in on that.
I was only doing like 7 minutes, and then Don said I did 8. He was very upset.
You had a 7-minute okay, not the 8-minute okay.
I forget. She said 6, 7. I said I don't care. I'll just go up and have fun, and I was being goofy and playing with Lauren and just doing crowd work. And then I brought up Don.
You should probably just leave town for a bit.
You're right. I'll leave.
Let me get some spots. Throw some to the rest of us.
If you don't get a lot of spots when I leave, I'm gonna be pissed.
I mean, I never get a lot of spots.
Okay.
But if I get my one a week, I'll feel a little better.
Got it.
Speaking of which, follow up from our discussion recently of Pauly Shore fat shaming me. You saw him.
I did see Pauly.
What was the conversation?
I said, "Hey, Pauly, that's
Hey.
fat shaming. It's not really a thing." And
what
Maddie
are you
Egger
talking
was
about,
there,
bro?
and Kim Congdon was there, so they all witnessed this.
Okay.
And I said,
Did they feel bad for me?
The Edge was like, "Wait, what?" And both Kim and Edge were like, "You don't know Jeff Danis?" Like,
because he said, "Who's Jeff Danis, bro?" When you said, "Why'd you do it?" So I think now a new theory is emerging where it was in the back of my head that maybe he thought I was either Duncan Trussell or Chris D'Elia, and I hope to God Duncan Trussell, because let's just go out on that. But Duncan,
Duncan doesn't have any charges.
I've been mistaken for Duncan in the past.
Yes.
I don't think it's ever.
Which is crazy.
And
me.
I go, Duncan, and I told him once, and he was at the store late night.
Oh,
he's like,
really?
He's like, "Did you show him your 2 balls?" Because he had testicular cancer. And I said, "I did not." But that's a good
idea.
Good to know for the future that I can just whip out my balls and say I'm not Duncan Trussell. But then I saw him again.
Duncan's like maybe your inner child. Like he's not
a tall guy. He's not a big guy. Where did I see him? At the store. What was the big reunion? The big anniversary?
I hope you're not talking about Mitzi's memorial.
Maybe one of those.
Oh, the 50th.
Where some guy comes up to me and he's like, "Man, everyone looks like shit, man, except for me and you." And I was like, in my head, I'm like, I have no idea who this guy is.
That's so
And then he's
great.
like, "Duncan, you look great." I was like, "Wait, what?" So I see Duncan. I see him that night, and he was with his wife.
Right.
And I was like, "Man, I constantly am getting mistaken for you." And he's like, "What?"
Really?
I think he forgot. He's like, "You're the much better version of me. Look at you." It's like, "Look at your hair." He's like to his wife, like, "Look at this."
This is what you could have. Oh.
So I think I don't know. It's a mystery now.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know.
Because he knows Duncan, right?
Yeah, of course. Duncan was the talent coordinator at the store.
How could he think Duncan's not way taller than Pauly? Is he?
No.
Yes, I don't know what he's. It's very bizarre. The story's taking a whole new.
Yeah,
we need a documentary. Who done
yeah,
it?
that's right. We need that. We need a documentary on who Pauly actually knows at the store.
Who he thinks is fat. He'd be like, "Who?"
Yeah, Matt Egger is so skinny, and he's just like, "Dude, that's not cool to say." I was like, "That's so funny."
Like, "Don't do that." Thank Matt Edgar. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean, me and Kim were just laughing because it was just funny that he didn't know who you were.
It does add insult to
weren't
injury to the
standing
story.
up for you at all.
Not only was I called fat, I was then, "Who's this guy?"
Who is he?
Maybe
Oh,
he
it's
put
so
in a
good.
word to the talent coordinator.
Oh, maybe because I told him. Uh-oh.
No, I'm saying, yeah, he's like, "Who is this guy? Get him out of here."
He's too big for the stage.
He's
He can't be
fat.
up there.
Oh, by the way, there's some heftier performers up there
How
these
dare
days.
you?
Let's just call it like it is. There's some heftier guys.
Oh, you're so mean.
I said guys. That was nice of me, I thought.
That's very nice. How dare you disrespect Marilyn Martinez?
There's certain part of the stages where you can feel that they're a little weakened from heavier people.
Yeah. Marilyn would laugh at that. Do you know who that is?
I used to park her car.
Of course.
She'd get out in a floor-length moo-moo. She was with her, was it her husband or boyfriend?
David, yes.
He
God
was
rest
like,
his soul.
I think
both of them passed.
Was he the driver or was he the
That was her
passenger?
husband.
No, but was because I remember they would get out of the car together.
Oh, yeah, good question.
Her comedy was
the best.
beyond filthy.
So fucking funny.
It's filth.
I love Marilyn.
She was always super nice.
Oh, yeah, hey.
Yeah, like, "Hey, honey." I'm like, "Oh, hey, how are you?"
Hey, chocolate.
And
Why? No.
she was always nice. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So what, the
It's been a minute.
70s,
It's been
80s?
a minute. No.
I'm
You
kidding.
see the 70s, 80s?
I'm kidding. I didn't work there
dare
in the 70s
you.
and 80s.
Dare you? Neither did I, you piece of shit.
Yeah, you did.
You shamer.
You were there the night it opened.
This is how a guy hit on me last night, and I'll say his name because, I want people to go after him.
Stallone?
No.
Pauly?
No.
Hey,
he said,
bro.
"How old are you? What year were you born?"
Jesus.
And I was like, "Oh my goodness,
Who leads with
Maddie Lockwood."
Oh, I know. I know Lockwood.
Find him online and harass him for that.
That's
He's the best though.
That's an aggressive pickup
It
line.
was so funny.
Is that the new "What's your sign"?
The way he did it, I was like crying laughing.
What year were you born?
And I answered him.
Was he impressed?
And then he ran away.
Oh, he's like, all right, gotta go. He's a younger man.
Younger-ish. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's definitely.
It's a young man's game.
They all look the same to me.
Getting comedy.
Men
spots.
look the same to me. They're all just hanging from a hook.
You sound like
no big deal.
You sound like Will Chamberlain.
Whoa.
Everybody's the same size when you're lying down. That was his quote. And I don't know if that's true, but should we get into this? We're we're delaying it.
You know why? Because we're laughing too much. We gotta bring that down. So here we are, guys.
Somber Summer, starring Jeff and Eleanor.
This is our somber summer. That's what it should be
We've
called.
done all depressing.
Well, yeah, the last 3.
Anna Nicole was depressing.
Yeah.
The Curious Case of Curious George was depressing.
Curious George was very depressing. Benjamin Button.
And now we're falling right in the same path. We did Abducted in Plain Sight's pretty depressing.
Well, that has at
least
they
comedic. Yeah.
But at least all of them had fucked up characters that we can make fun of.
Yeah.
This one,
not a lot of that.
feel that silence? That's how it's going to feel.
Comedy
guys.
is leaving the building.
Strap one in. We're on. Grab your tissues. I'm kidding.
This is called Take Care of Maya. It's on Netflix.
Yes.
I like the theme song. Taking care of Maya every day. That might be the only joke we have. Just right off the bat.
Taking care of Maya.
She's ever sick. So it opens with a guy searching a beach. They had weird clips in here, I thought.
Yeah, a little bit. But when it first zoomed in and it was Clearwater, Florida, I was like, oh, this is going to be good.
It's Venice, Florida, don't you
I mean, I'm sorry, Venice.
Don't you know someone from Venice?
Yes.
A coffee magnate?
Oh, no, that's not where he lives.
Are you sure? I read an article that said...
Is it Venice?
I thought so. It could
you
be
might
wrong.
be right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it is near Sarasota.
I know Maya. If you know what we're talking about, great. If you don't be alarmed.
That would be dangerous if you knew Maya.
Giving her coffee.
Giving her some coffee.
There's
coffee is good, by the way.
They start some of these docs. They just right off the bat they really bombard you.
What made me say Clearwater? I forget what I was watching.
It's a sensory overload. This one they do voicemails. They don't say who's talking. You're like, wait, what?
Well, yeah, it'll say like Bob or Rob or like
this one though
was
just
weird.
This one just went into voices. It was voicemails of someone being like, "You have no rights as a parent. Your child can be taken away." And I was like, "Wait, what's going on?" What?
Yeah, but that was the CPS people, I thought.
Was
but
it
didn't say their names.
But then it goes into, like I said last episode, the Fast and Furious Vin Diesel snippets.
Oh yeah.
Snippet parade of audio and video, and you're like, "Wait, what?"
Whoa! I had to rewind it a couple times because I was like, "Who is what?"
They're just giving you the overview, but it seems to be a new, I don't know if new, but it seems to be a documentary device, if you will.
Yeah.
So then they get into Jack Kowalski, Killer Kowalski's nephew.
Killer Kowalski.
I made that
That's
up.
great. That's a great name. What is that from?
Wrestler, famous
wrestler.
wrestler.
Yeah. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Again, that age is showing.
I don't know if
brain went,
I don't know if he's from Boston, but he ended up training wrestling in Boston.
The Killer Kowalski.
He trained Triple H.
The whole time they kept
China.
saying Kowalski, I kept saying Killer Kowalski, but in my head I wasn't making the, because I don't know why. It's just embedded in my brain.
So Jack Kowalski's retired fireman.
Very nice. At first I was like,
seemed like a nice suburban guy.
I was like, okay, he's the cool one. And then they cut to the blonde mom, and I was like, oh yeah, here we go.
So they intro him, and then they kept on showing their depositions in and out, which was, I thought, confusing a little bit.
It was
just because it was like snippets, and it was like, wait, what?
Also, you're seeing a kid in like seemingly full makeup, and I was like, is she in a recital or is that?
Oh, some of her attire, she was real dressed up.
Right, and I was like, are they selling this kid? Like, I started panicking because I didn't research
what's this about?
anything, and I was like, uh-oh.
Like, who's taking care of Maya?
They sold this kid. Like, it freaked me out a little bit.
We're gonna sell Maya.
Yeah. I was like, okay, she's got a lot of makeup on in that.
So he said his wife's name, and I was like, is the wife's name Fiata? Because he said
Beata.
Then he said it slower. It's Beata.
Oh, okay.
She's from Poland.
Right.
Came to the U.S. at 16. I think Chicago. Is that where she?
Chicago,
it sounded like
Midwest,
the guy was.
Yeah,
It sounded like
so
the guy
he had
was
a
from
little
there,
bit of
too.
an accent too.
She
I
was-
love their accent.
She was told by a teacher, "You're never going to make it because you're."
Worst thing you could say to anybody.
Why? Why do teachers do that?
But they can't do it now. They'd be arrested.
But you're not
but they did it to us. They did it to.
You're not a job forecaster. Like, what does that matter?
Do you know that I had a teacher that used to say empty barrels make the most noise?
Whoa, that hurts.
She would say it about me and my friend Melissa all day long. She called us the 7 deadly sins. There was other people a part of this.
You had a posse?
Yeah.
There were 7 of you?
Yeah. And
what
she
sin
put us,
were you?
She put us on the side of the... we never picked characters. We should have, though.
You could have had jackets, made it a whole thing.
Yeah, it would be great. 7 deadlies.
You 7 deadly sins.
Mrs. Jadati. Shout out to Mrs. Jadati.
What, is that a name?
That's a real name. Barbara Jadati.
Jadati?
Jadati.
Lottie Dottie.
Lottie Dottie. She was great.
Is she still alive?
I hope so.
Why don't you
but
visit
she's
her
up there.
with the 6 other sins?
She still lives in St. Monica Parish, but she was
In
one
the
of
church?
the nicest ladies. No, she's a lay teacher. It's not a nun.
Oh. But you
What,
said St. Monica's Parish, like she lived in the church.
Oh, no. In that area, in the neighborhood.
Got it.
She's her and her husband. Oh, he's so cute. Little Italian guy.
Hot?
Oh, shit. I can't think of his name.
See, that is a
It's
sin.
like Luigi or Mario. It's like that. It's like
Bowser?
that. And he's the best. And he's the nicest guy. But they really are the sweetest couple that really I think every one of my siblings was taught by her. Oh no. She missed Edie or something like that.
Was she annoyed by that?
Maybe
or
not every one of them, but
would
the
she
bottom
mention,
half.
Would she
for
mention
sure.
that? Like, oh, another Kerrigan.
No, she was cool about
Wouldn't
it.
say it.
She was cool about it. She
Be
liked
cool.
us. She, even though we were bad, she liked us. She didn't make us feel terrible, but she did give us nicknames and pick on us.
What were your other siblings?
And empty
what
barrels
were their
do
gangs?
make the most noise. She's right. What were they? What?
I mean, if you throw a full barrel, I think it would be louder than an empty barrel.
I'm messing that up. She definitely didn't teach all of us. It was the bottom half. It was the bottom.
It's just for your brother.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
this is just for your brother
Johnny
at home.
Facts.
Everyone else is
I don't need Johnny pacing the floor, being like, "That's not true. I didn't have," but he may have. I don't. But definitely like Billy Bobby. Charlie. I think
Billy Bobby Thornton.
Charlie down. Yeah.
So Beata's she defies this teacher.
Yeah.
Which I think shows a lot about her personality.
Which is so smart.
She became a nurse in a cardiac unit, and I guess according to her,
again, she's an immigrant, right? So we
Yeah.
were talking about heart, like they come here and they
yes.
get like shunned, right? Like, oh, you ain't shit.
coming here at
basically.
16 is tough too. When
That's really tough.
hard to learn a language as a teen.
Yeah.
And like you're in high school, obviously you're gonna be shit. Like, hey, look at this probably Polak
Can't
jokes.
even imagine. Oh yeah, especially back then. If my dad was her classmate,
Your dad's probably a couple of years older.
he
but
would love to do Polish jokes.
He's got a
It's his
whole
favorite. He'd laugh hard, and Glenn would be there, the Polish guy that worked for him. Anyway, go ahead. He didn't press charge.
The husband said that she wanted nothing more to have her own child, which I think is telling later on as well.
Yeah.
So they had a hard time. I don't know if it was conceiving or I don't know what. They didn't really get into it, but they had a hard time, I guess, having a kid.
Yeah.
So then they had Maya. 2 years later, they had Kyle. The husband's like, oh, there was no trying there. I was like, yeah, straight fucking.
I love how he said that because he goes, we didn't even have to try. I was like, whoa.
One of the few light moments in a
it's true.
very dark cloud.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was straight fucking back then. That I feel bad for the brother. We'll get into that.
Yeah. Oh.
Because he kind of becomes forgotten, which is sad.
But also, it became his life.
it's his whole life.
The fight is that's
It's
it.
all encompassing.
So
then he says 2015 life is good. We got the beautiful house and a beautiful neighborhood, and then Maya
really
got
is
sick.
nice.
Reminded me of Michael Barnett from Curious Case. And he's like, we had the Corvettes, we had the nice house. It's like setting up like everything
Except
was.
for he said it like a human being.
Yes, he talked like a normal, not like he was off Broadway.
Right. We had the nice house. Yeah,
The
I mean
Corvettes, the 14 TVs, 18 dogs.
he was setting the scene.
a dirt bike.
14 TVs.
We were in
all in the same room.
rec softball leagues. So very similar setting up that like things were good. This guy I think had just retired or was about to retire. I was like, how old is he
Well,
to retire?
Me too, because he said he was a fireman and retired. Like, I know a lot of firemen, and they do kind of retire earlier.
It depends. Some of them start working like right out of high school, whatever.
Still, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it's not an easy. And like police officers, they usually do retire earlier, but then they do other stuff.
Yeah, he
like
said
they always have a second.
He seemed older though than the wife, in my opinion.
Oh, definitely.
I don't know how much, but he said he did want to spend time with his kids, so he kind of was like, "Yeah, time's right." But I'm sure she did pretty well, career-wise or money-wise. They weren't getting.
Yeah, well, she was a nurse, right.
If they were like comics, they'd probably get more spots.
Yeah.
than I do when you're in town.
More sad stories.
So then they get into Maya.
Let's get Jeff a violin.
This is my soapbox. So Maya starts getting like a mysterious illness. They said in her deposition she had pain in her arms, legs, feet. She felt lethargic, couldn't move well. Her skin was on fire, and then her legs started like turning in towards each other. She's young kid, I think, like under 10, I think, right?
Definitely. Because the videos were when she was around 10.
Yeah, and so she's coughing, trouble breathing. It's
crazy. And her mom, was she recording it or were they reenacting it?
No, her mom was recording everything.
So that the daughter, so they could explain what the daughter
She was recording audio and video, but was like, just seemed like a very type A person.
Extremely detailed. Yeah,
Very type A, like I want to be in control.
Sure. If I can't explain this properly, let me record it.
And I think, thorough.
Right.
And also had medical backgrounds. So she just like.
So she was like, I need to know how to say this. And I'm a nurse, so I'm in this field, but I'm still having trouble because my daughter's having trouble. And
she's videoing the doctor's visits, but like it was like cut off. So I think she wasn't saying I'm videoing you, but was videoing it all. Yeah. I can't imagine. Like I go to doctor's visits with my kids. Sure. I can't imagine holding my phone and being like, "I'm going to record."
I have recorded doctors.
Really?
Yeah, because one, I'm not good at knowing what they were saying, but with my mom, and this is later, obviously, and like more now.
Yeah.
So I'll be with my mom, and I'll be like, I don't understand what they're saying. I recorded, unfortunately, during the pandemic, my mom got some kind of blood infection. And so they put a PICC line in and we had to administer but they were teaching me how to do it. So I was recording it. And I have a video of me, like I'm setting up the recorder and the nurse is explaining because she came to our house to do it because it was the pandemic. And she came to the house to do it. And as we were doing it, I go, Mom, shh. And she goes, and I have it on video.
Really?
So I sent it to everybody.
What did the nurse think about it?
She didn't see it. Oh. She was looking the other way. And I was like,
something like that, I'm sure you told her, hey, do you mind if I video? But like, otherwise, do you tell them?
I did say it to her because I go, my brother Tommy's not here. Like I was figuring out who was going to be around.
Obviously, it's a visual.
There's a PICC line. And then we don't know what we're doing. Yeah. We're a bunch of idiots. So I was like, okay, like have to record it. But then also when I would go to the doctor and I would audio record because I would be like, he said these words.
Do you use your phone or do you use the old school Woodward and Bernstein
I put the headphones on. Is that cool? I got it from my dad's typewriter store, and it's a big recorder.
No, I'm talking about the little one, like the little remote control size one, like people use for like interviews. I don't think anyone uses them for interviews anymore. But
what if I set up like a PID, kind of just an overhanging?
You're like, hold on a second, let me set up. Or you have an audio guy. You can bring some audio.
That'd be amazing.
Does anyone have any objections to that?
Tell us. I don't know.
I've been saying the doctors.
I don't think doctors like you, as long as you say it, I don't think they get but she kept getting unfortunately Maya, she kept getting misdiagnosed, which happens a lot.
What she had, I think, is tough to pin down because there's so many different symptoms of it.
Yeah, I mean, like, just true, but also, like, go back to the blood thing my mom had because it was during COVID. They immediately thought she had COVID.
Yeah.
So they put her on a COVID floor, which she didn't have COVID. She was tested 2 or 3 times, and it kept coming back negative, but they didn't know what it was, so they just kept her there. So then they sent her home. We figured out it was this blood thing, got the PICC line in, doing that. But while she was, we all wound up getting COVID because she brought COVID home from the hospital. So it was a fun time.
It sounds good.
Yeah. But we weren't recording them because we were looking to beat people up.
Oh.
Because we were getting pissed off.
You were
They were
too busy-
misdiagnosing her. We were
Too
like,
busy to fight.
I remember this one time, me and my little sister were at the desk, and I said, hey, we want to speak to the nurse that's talking to my, helping with my mom. And she goes, oh, the really nice lady at the desk was like, oh, she's at lunch. And I was like, we'll wait. And it was a black lady, and she went, oh, they gonna wait.
Meaning you were there.
She goes, I would do the same thing, but it's like,
and she meant
yeah,
you were
we were
there.
gonna wait.
She knew something was brewing. 7 deadly sins were there.
The lady came right down, by the way.
She's with,
Don't fuck with her.
She had a
Yeah.
Chinese food to
That's
go
my
container.
mizzle. Don't mess around.
I related to this.
She's just eating.
I related to this in a way I don't think I've ever spoke about this on a podcast.
And I was going to bring that up, but I'm glad you are.
I have ulcerative colitis, which is an autoimmune disease. I don't know if it's in tandem with that. I have fibromyalgia as well, which I wasn't. That took forever to diagnose.
See?
Because it's like this, where it's like a myriad of symptoms, and they're like
We don't know.
Is it Lyme disease? Is it this? Is it where it could be a lot of different stuff? And it took forever. It was in my mid to late 20s, I think. I had like started. I was like, why I'm in like random pain. Similar. Some of the symptoms are similar. Like I thank God.
Crazy, right?
I didn't have it like my feet weren't like this. Like this, what she had was extreme. Like,
Right.
she at times couldn't walk.
Right.
Whereas mine is just like, it's basically, if you don't know what it is, it's like, it's nerve pain. And it's just like your body
Sure.
kind of attacks itself, and it's a chronic pain deal, which is what she had. Felt terrible as a kid. I can imagine as a kid going through
Again,
this.
it's good days and bad days.
Yes.
So it's like, oh, today is a bad stomach day, whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
So in your like, before you were diagnosed, you're going around and you're trying to figure out what it is, but you're like, okay, I can manage it if I do this, and then that changes.
Yeah.
That doesn't work anymore. So
Yeah.
it's like, fuck.
And then like for when I did, they would throw like, just take opioids.
A million. Oh, yeah.
And they'd so I'd be like just dead tired. Like I'd be driving and I'd be like, I may not be a good
You
idea.
can't drive on opioids, can you?
No, but like from the night before, like I'd just be like
Oh.
dead tired. I would take them at night.
Okay.
And so I'd be dead tired the next day, and I was like, I can't do
Shit.
this anymore. And the doctor was like, I just stopped taking. I was like, I'm done. I can't.
I can't take that.
Yeah, I'd rather be in pain than be like dead tired.
How long did it take for you to get a real diagnosis?
Took a while, and I think I was just like, I was slow to go to because I was like starting to feel a lot of pain. I was like, I don't know what it is, and then like, but then they were like, oh, like maybe it's just your ulcerative colitis, like because you could have like pain from that.
Sure.
So like maybe it's that, and then it just took a while to find like. They finally sent me to a rheumatologist. It took a while, I don't know, like 2-3 years maybe.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to the doctor constantly. But it was just kind of like, hey, I kept being like, hey, like something's
amiss.
Yeah, something doesn't feel like. And there are people now who I think still medically don't believe fibromyalgia is a thing.
Oh my God, really? I'm
Lady Gaga
hearing
has it
more.
for Christ's sakes. As does Morgan Freeman, I
She
believe.
wears it on the outside.
I think she was in a documentary I didn't see, but I guess she does like a dancing scene, and she was like, she was in like so much pain, was like racked after,
I
was
believe
like
that.
racked
Yeah.
in pain, but like dances through it.
By the way, that's fucking impressive.
You know Lady Gaga.
I don't know her,
You
but
know
I've
her.
met her. We're besties.
How did she introduce herself?
Stephanie.
Not Lady?
No.
Not Gaga?
No. But I also was introduced through, like, she was doing a movie with Dice. A Star is Born.
Stars Born, Bradley
So-
Cooper.
He was going by Andrew, not Dice. She was going by Stephanie.
It's
not
funny
Lady.
when people act. It's like when
You know.
rappers act and they use their real name. You're like, oh, Yasmin Bey, a.k.a. Mos Def.
By the way, I got to say, one of the most down-to-earth people I ever met. She drove herself to the set. She was in a pickup truck. Hilarious.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Because she's so
Her
fabulous.
parents,
Some of her
very
outfits.
close, very, very close. Oh, no, she was in like well, this was for the movie. So she was already like out of makeup and everything. But, you know, like on movie sets, they put you in a shuttle and they shuttle you back. She just drove. She's like, I'll be up there. I'll be there.
Did she say,
you know?
la, 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 ooh, la, la,
She
la,
did. I'll tell this.
Poker face.
Because I was, first of all, it was awesome to be on the set, you know. And people are like, oh, you were helping Andrew with his lines. And kind of we were, me and his kids. But he rewrote them anyway. So, and Bradley Cooper loved it. He's like, oh yeah, this is great because Bradley was directing. So
he's like, what is Andrew? What does it mean when you say I'm over here now?
But it was also a legal pad.
Putting in diceism. Does he hold the legal pad on set?
No, he just gives it to you.
Oh, he just hands it to Bradley Cooper.
Stephanie, these are your new lines.
On a legal pad. What a fuck. What a business.
But it was beautiful. It was literally the most amazing thing I ever witnessed in show business because, first of all, Andrew was so good in the scene. He had us all, everybody that was listening, all the producers, everybody that was on the side. You know how people sit and watch? Yeah. It's all like people's agents. Yeah. Lady Gaga had an acting coach. It was like a lot of people. Acting coach. I'm sorry, Stephanie, sobbing. Everybody was sobbing. He was so good. And then the way at this point they're just improvising. And it didn't make the movie, which sucks, but because it did, the way Stephanie got Andrew, because he was so emotional, to calm down, she started singing a cappella. Oh my God, it was beautiful. But his character sang too in the movie, like it was like I could have been somebody. So he was gonna sing with her, and then he just let her go, and it was probably the greatest thing I ever saw in my life.
I would like to
aside from Andrew's acting, which was flawless.
I'd like to see a Dice Gaga duet album.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
She's the one who's boys with Tony Bennett, right? And they do
yeah.
So Dice could be the new Tony Bennett.
Andrew took his girlfriend to see that. I think it was Tony Bennett's 90th birthday.
This is the 7 degrees of Gaga right here. And Dice seems like
she's
they intersect.
She's the nicest person. She really is.
Let's call her, get her on the show.
Steph, come on over. Hang out.
Is she
LA? You gotta have fibromyalgia.
We're in this together, Stephanie.
Come on.
What's her last name?
Shite.
Stephanie Shite?
No, it'll come to me. But it is.
It's not Gaga?
No. Her parents, the sweetest.
Does she live in New York or she live here? Or both?
That's none of my business, Jeffrey.
Let's give her address out. So back to depressing land.
Yeah.
So Beata wouldn't, she just wouldn't sleep for a while.
Right.
And she was just researching, like trying to figure this out.
You? I mean,
that's the worst, though. She at least has a medical background, but when you Google symptoms, which I do all the time, it's always the worst.
You're like, I have everything.
Or it's just like,
how'd I get colon and brain cancer?
Or it could be that you're like, oh, it could be 1 of 10 things.
Right.
Then you go into the doctor and they get real pissed because you're bringing your own info, and they're like basically, okay, I went to a lot of school. Like I don't need Dr. Wikipedia here.
Right. But also, she's a nurse, and not to say only a nurse, but they kind of look at you like doctors are like.
Doctors have a lot of
dicky moves sometimes.
God complexes, and they're like, hey, I didn't go to nursing school, all right?
Whereas a nurse will do that kind of work, extra work.
A lot of nurses, they do a lot of things, and they have a broad knowledge of a lot of different stuff.
We don't have a lot of doctors like Baldino.
Dr. Baldino. I was waiting for the Dr. Baldino shout out. Philly's best. Probably retired, maybe not living doctor.
He's tanning somewhere, definitely.
So she found Dr. Kirkpatrick.
Right.
He's videoing it. He turns the tables.
I like him a lot.
He reminded me of...
but because he was coming up with something new, that's why he was... Or not coming up, but figuring something out.
By the way, when they showed him, because they finally showed in the end, they were just showing the footage. They showed the end. He's using like a 1980s camcorder, and it was in the 1980s. He's like, do you mind if I film you?
Look at the birdie. Wait, what?
He reminded me of, why am I blanking on his name? Like the most famous comedic actor. He just turned like 90-something.
Oh.
From Spaceballs, Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles.
Why am I not get these?
My favorite. People are like, shut up. If you say it, I'll be mad that I didn't get it either.
Carl Reiner's best friend.
Mel Brooks.
There you go.
Shut up! That's who you were thinking
I blanked.
Of?
This doctor looks a little bit like a young Mel Brooks.
I'm like going through Mel Brooks movies, but I wasn't thinking him. No, he doesn't look like him.
You don't think so? And his voice reminded me of him a little bit too. I don't know why.
His voice was interesting, and I was like, okay, he's going to be our character.
Dr. K.
He's going to be our guy that we get to pick on.
He was too straightforward.
He was great.
So
he was fucking great.
He comes in, he has like a swagger. He's like, it's obvious what it is. Like, he's like, these idiots. You could tell he was like, I'm the best.
But it's true. The misdiagnosis thing, like that's,
when
this kid is in pain.
And I think he's annoyed, like on behalf of her, on behalf of the family. He said it was obvious. It's complex regional pain syndrome, which I've never heard of, aka CRPS.
Yeah.
I guess it's common between 9 and 11-year-old girls, they said, which
Frightening.
seems very odd.
Very odd.
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know.
What causes it? Like I was
They didn't
thinking
really say like what caused it.
No.
It doesn't know if it said it's only been they said it's like been around for 100 years or something, but they said only recognized by the medical community since 1990.
Right.
Which obviously then they may not know a lot about it because it's not that been around for long.
Well, that's the fucking.
So he says you got to get on the ketamine.
And this is where it gets weird because you're like, is Joe Rogan running this off?
And this guy's Dr. K for ketamine, Kirkpatrick for ketamine.
Ooh.
Like, and ketamine, what is ketamine hallucinogenic?
I honestly, this is going to sound
Isn't
terrible
it a horse
because
tranquilizer or something?
Yeah, but I thought it was like just to help with energy. I'm all wrong on
You thought
ketamine.
it was speed?
No, I thought it was like, like a protein thing, like a powder. I don't know why.
That's creatine.
But it was, that's it. Jeff,
creatine.
You know I'm a weirdo, but you know what I mean. Like
you went to
joke
you went
about,
to GNC. You're like, can I get some ketamine? And they're like,
but
whoa.
ketamine also was something that like people were doing.
No, it's always been a drug.
Yeah, but it was something they were doing to like I don't know because people used to say it all the time. Oh, you do some rails of ketamine and just
Special K.
Yeah, I guess so. But it was helping people get with energy and stuff. I don't know.
Positive.
Yeah,
energy.
You got it.
Ketamine.
Get your kettlebells and ketamine out.
Double K. People use it for depression now too.
Right, but I'm saying like it was being used for a lot of things.
Is it at the time in this? It was not legal. Is it legal now?
That part I don't know.
So I know someone,
but I've heard a lot about it.
I know someone who uses it for depression, but I don't know if that's a legal thing or illegal thing.
No, I don't. That part I don't know. It was last night. I was at the grocery store when I was checking out. It was like 1 a.m, and my grandmom used to joke and say that the dirty magazines were, those like People magazine and Star. She always called them the dirty magazines because they were gossip and that's dirty. And the young girl was on the cover of People magazine, and I almost bought it because I was like. But I was like, no, my grandma says dirty magazines. Dirty magazines.
Even for
Don't
that.
Buy
even
it.
for
Don't
a good cause.
buy them.
Dr. K says the only answer here is we got to put you in a 5-day coma with a ton of ketamine. Can't do it in the U.S. Only available in Mexico, which as a parent, I'd be like,
I was just going to ask that.
Sounds weird. I mean, I think you'd have to obviously you would have to research it and be like, this semes odd. It's never great when someone's like, hey, you got to go to Mexico for this medical procedure.
I disagree with you because we have too many rules or whatever.
It sounds like they have no rules.
Yeah, but like with Mitzi, I went with Mitzi. I didn't take her. This was her thing, but we had to go to the Dominican Republic so that she can get stem cell injections. And it helped a lot, but they weren't legal here.
And these doctors aren't.
And she did it 3 times.
The doctors aren't. They're all from those countries, right?
Right.
They're not American doctors working in Mexico.
So no, American doctor like with Mitzi. Flew with us to Mexico,
wow.
and he can administer it.
So this is like
there,
international waters. It's like, hey,
exactly.
we're in the Dominican Republic. Let's party.
Did
he sit with you on the plane?
He did.
Really?
Oh, he wasn't. I don't know if he was on our
first class.
He might have been on our commuter flight.
Interesting.
But he definitely came with us.
Does he wear the scrubs on the flight?
Oh, Mitzi, how are you?
They're like boarding medical professionals.
Yeah,
first?
and there was about 10 or 15 people that went all together.
Wow.
And
was Paulie there fat shaming anybody?
No. He did go one time when Mitzi went somewhere else with Bob Wheeler. She'd gone 3 times.
Didn't she get her boobs done in like Turkey or somewhere? I know
they gobble.
I watch this terrible reality show about this woman from 90 Day Fiance. Her name's Darcy. She's the most ridiculous.
I can't believe you watched this
They're
show.
twins, and they have so much plastic surgery, and they've done all the same stuff, and they're young. They were once attractive.
So their surgery has to look alike?
They look horrific. They look like monsters.
But do they still look alike?
Yeah, but they look like horrific monsters. They went to Turkey to get a bunch of stuff done. A bunch of liposuction.
Well, you can get the suction. Well, okay. Also,
they got their asses done, their teeth. They got like 50 things because they're like, it's way too expensive in the US.
A comic friend because, and this, don't get mad at me,
Ralphie May.
but America is a greedy.
In America.
And there's a lot of cures, things that can cure people, but you can't make money off it, because when people are cured, you no longer need. So a friend of ours, a comic friend, I don't want to say his name because it's not my story to tell, but he told me his father was diagnosed with colon cancer. And here they were like, you have to go on chemo, you have to do this, you have to do that. He took him to Mexico. They did the surgery. His father's fine.
Wow. So Mexico, the cures.
Just letting you know.
Do you think this is the cartels?
He's not the first and only person I've heard this.
Wow.
So
well,
it's
you heard
annoying.
it here first.
No, everybody shits on Big Pharma. Everybody shits on Big Pharma because that's all it is.
Mexico's got the answers, bro.
Tripoli. The best.
So for some reason Beata's recording the night before the procedure. I don't know why. She seemed to like to record things.
But also they have to put her daughter into a coma.
Yeah.
So
part of me was like,
a coma is terrifying.
But why video that? She was just basically saying like, it's gonna be okay, or, like, why do you need video for
coverage? Not coverage, but like, God forbid if something goes wrong.
I think she was gearing up for maybe if she needed it, a lawsuit is why part of it was like, I'm videoing all this in case something goes awry.
Maybe.
Something, I don't know. That seemed to me, it just seemed weird that she was doing it. She's doing a vlog. She's like, coma day 3. Like, it was just weird. It was like a project. It was like an odd thing to do, I thought. But she's like, ketamine, coma day 6. And it was weird. She came to. She was like, her arms were fucking.
That was freaking me out.
Her arms
She was hallucinating. She kept touching her face.
And the doctor's like, she's a little wiggly. That's
She's got the wiggles. I'm like, this isn't the Wiggles.
The Australian band, the kids band.
That's what my brother Billy calls my older brother Tommy. He calls him Wiggles because he looks like one of the guys in the Wiggles.
I felt bad. This girl was like, they were like asking her, like, what's your brother's name? And she was fucking out of it. This girl was like, she was tripping balls.
It was brutal. Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. When she was coming out, I'm like, oh, this bitch, because they're like, oh, she's hallucinating. I'm like, oh, she's on, like, she's still on the shit. Like, it's not coming out of her system.
But they said that was but imagine being that age and she's on a 5-day.
Again, her mom was so patient. Just gotta be patient, honey.
This is
just gotta take your time, honey.
5-day trip. This is a wild ride.
Fuck yeah.
I can't imagine that. Just being fucked up for in Mexico.
Ketamine.
You're like, take me to the donkey shows.
I want
get
some
out of
ketamine.
Here. You need some ketamine, I think.
Don't give me creatine.
The coma worked, and the pain went down. Her legs started like getting better.
Like little by little.
Still in a wheelchair, but she was doing like physical therapy, and it was like she was coming back to herself.
Do you think, though, the ketamine, like putting that much in her, inducing a coma, they wouldn't do it with the ketamine.
I think
something. It's basically putting somebody to sleep. But then you're putting that ketamine in her.
Seems like it would do so. I don't know if it's like brain chemistry.
It
seems
high?
like it would.
Is she still? Is that why she's not feeling anything?
I think that you come out of that. She said her only bad symptoms from that were like every now and then her like mind would get a little fuzzy, and she had problems with short-term memory. But she's like, for me, that was
good.
She's like that was. She's like it was a good trade-off.
And
like
blurry vision.
Yeah, every now
and
then.
She said.
Yeah, which if she's not of driving age, would probably wouldn't be great for that.
But what a difference immediately.
You could see it, like, because she had all the video when she's sick. Obviously, you can tell she's sick, and then after that, you could tell like she was like bubbly, like her personality came back. So then they go to October 26th. There was a lot of like time jumping in this. This is October 2016. They had I don't know what hurricane. There's a hurricane in Florida.
Every other year.
Yeah.
So they're like, it was blah, blah, blah.
Pretty much every year. So she has a bad relapse of this illness. And the mom was at work. Seemed like the mom handled everything medical. The dad calls the mom, like, what do I do?
Sure. This is happening.
So she says go to the ER, which turns out to not be good in this situation.
Now, this kind of thing that happened here, I've heard of a lot. I've never seen a documentary on it.
I've never heard of this in my life.
Really?
No.
You're going to get mad, but I think I've been seeing it on TikTok.
Oh, boy.
I know.
Old
but
TikTok
people
Kerrigan.
kids. I didn't know.
What?
I didn't know this is legal.
I'm not
but
on TikTok,
know,
but how many different like subgenres of TikTok are you involved in?
I don't know.
Because now we are medical. You're in makeup world.
Well, makeup I got bored with, so now it's
Are
like.
you in dance? Are you in the world
I've
of
done
dance?
but there's a few weird ones. A lot of weird
food
stuff. Food I got bored with.
Are you doing the one where
because
people...
I started making fucking cookies. 2 ingredients for cookies. They're not good. Stop it. Kill yourself. Anyway.
Do you like the ones of little Asian girls like eating food and the noise it makes?
No, I can't watch that. But there was
mukbang. Is that what that's called?
Something like that. They did it with little girls because there was some hot older girls.
Well, these are like Korean. They're not little. They're like small.
Yeah, but they're not young.
But they're eating like huge quantities of food. They have like a huge
Yes,
buffet
I didn't. I'm trying to think if any of them were Asian that I can remember. But I do remember these white girls with a lot of makeup on. They look like Barbie and putting a whole bunch and looked like chipmunk cheeks. And one time I looked and she had like 32,000 people watching.
Is that why Carl's Jr. does those disgusting sloppy burgers with hot chicks eating them?
You know who else does it? My friend Rocco, and it drives me motherfucking crazy. And I'm telling you, Rocco, stop it.
Oh, he's doing videos of him eating?
He not like that, but he always does it. I made a nice pizza and I'll eat it. Lasagna, and I'm like, Rocco, stop chewing. And he's like, you liked it? And sometimes he'll send them to me because he knows it annoys me.
Maybe just following the trends. You got to be young.
I think, but now he's on TikTok, and I'm like, oh no, he's eating on here too.
Well, now we got to worry.
He's going to get popular.
Now we got to worry about Threads, a whole new thing. You hear about this?
No.
Zuckerberg's answer to Twitter. He's trying to take down the Musk.
Okay. And what's it called?
Threads?
I feel like maybe I did read
I think it's
about
tied
it.
in with Instagram, but it's like now there's as a comic, you need to be a social media manager, all this bullshit.
I hate it. I'm done.
But you're on TikTok.
Well, that's just watching videos. I'm not posting them. But a part of me was like, the TikTok thing started because I wanted to figure out the algorithm, like see what's getting big, what's not. Same thing with Instagram.
It's like a beautiful mind.
I can't figure it out.
I'd like to see what's above your head. Trying to figure out the algorithm.
It's an empty barrel. It's an empty barrel, and it's making a lot of noise.
Dr. Baldino over here, Mario 1, Mario 2, Johnny, this new guy we're finding out about.
New. Johnny's not new.
To me, it's
Johnny's everything.
Jesus. You're like Daniel LaRusso.
Not Johnny Facts, a different Johnny.
This is your Johnny from Karate Kid.
Johnny. Oh.
Can't forget Johnny. Here's Johnny. So they go into the ER, and I think the mom came on strong, which made them.
But she's aggressive, so she's standing up for herself. She's standing up for her daughter.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying
I agree,
in their eyes.
But it feels
a
little over.
Like she goes up to the doctors and like, this is what you give her, this is what you do, and they're like, wait, what? Like, who are you?
Right. Again, with
doctors don't like to be talked to like that.
Also, it's a different hospital.
Yes.
She doesn't work there.
No, they don't
know her.
Yeah.
So they're like, this bitch is crazy.
And it's an unconventional treatment. They're like, wait, we don't give kids ketamine here. Because they were like, wait, what, ketamine? Because she's like, you have to give her ketamine. They're like, wait, what? Why?
That's what she's on.
Yeah. This
is the part where I got really upset. But there's a million reasons. I don't know if I'll be able to talk about a lot of them. But the one, this whole, like, there are parents out there that get money for disabled children, and they're fucked up, and they make their kids feel sick. But
Munchausen's
this girl,
via proxy.
Right. This
Eminem,
I didn't know there was a real name for it.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Eminem alleges his mom did that to him, was giving him pills.
Wow.
Yeah.
But this kid is, you could see her muscle, you could see her feet going in. What would the mother be giving her or doing?
Unless she's just like,
unless they're thinking,
unless she's basically just
this.
coaching her, you know what I mean? Like, because have you ever seen I don't know what it's called. The girl's name was Gypsy Rose.
Mommy Dead and Dearest?
Yes.
Did you see that?
A million times.
Yeah, and the mom basically convinced her from a very young age of like, you can't walk, but she knew she could walk. Gypsy Rose, by the way, is like, we need to kill my mom. She met a guy online. Guy comes over, stabs the mom 1 million times. He takes the fall, but she's still in prison too.
Which is hard.
Mommy's gotta go. I think they fucked right after they killed her in like the next room.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, good stuff.
Well,
do you see the show based on that too? Great show with Joey. What's her name? Joey Chestnut from the hot dog eating contest.
No.
Joey, the girl. She's a famous actress. I don't know her name. Last name.
Joey Chestnut?
That was just a joke.
I mean, you threw me off.
That was a joke.
Joey.
Hey, guys. When she dressed up as Snow White and met the boyfriend at the movie theater.
I didn't see this. I got to see it. But I know the story.
She loved Disney. Oh, it's a great show. It was on Hulu.
But this girl was mentally mind-fucked.
Yes,
that one.
For years.
So they're just assuming this one is getting the same.
Yes.
So once, I don't even know, Child Protective Services comes in, everybody's fucked.
The doctors... They were like, we feel this could be abuse. They alert Child Protective Services.
Once they do that, you really are fucked.
And so the Kowalski, they have this lawyer, this woman, what's her name here?
I forget.
Deborah Salisbury. And she gets into like how abuse has changed. Child abuse has changed. She's like, in the 70s and 80s, it was like broken bone, physical abuse.
Again, with the greed.
And she's like, now it's become a lot more of the looking into the medical side of things. Of like our parents trying to force illnesses on their kids, like so that this is becoming a
lot of money in it. GoFundMe's, things like that. They get money from the government. I have disabilities, blah blah blah.
So
it's frightening.
It's
fucked up.
So once Child Protective Services come in, they're like, we're not letting the parents take her, which seems beyond insane.
But that's what they do.
So she's just stuck in this hospital.
Yeah,
by herself.
A friend of mine has. A school called CPS on him and his wife, and it was scary for a minute because if there's any, and they interview a lot of people, they call a lot of people, if there's any weird, they feel anything, they can make that motherfucking decision, and I don't think that's right.
They have a lot of power.
Yeah, it's good and bad. It's fucking...
Yeah, because obviously you want them to have power if they need to have it. But then like in cases like this where it's wrong,
It's almost like they're looking for it. Like they get a bonus if they get one in.
Yeah, they said child welfare in Florida is privatized. And I think it might be in California too. That's a big problem. And the lawyer said she called it a child welfare industry, but I didn't get where the money is. It government funding? Like where's the money coming? I don't get where it's coming from. And
definitely government taxes, tax dollars.
And so does it benefit them to come up with cases like this? I didn't get like where the flow of money was
because
coming.
It's happening more often than not.
Yeah.
Now. Like before, it was like, we didn't see anything by it. But
I also think if you're trained, though, a certain way of like, look, then you're going to look
for this.
More, than you would otherwise.
That bitch that came in.
Her name was Dr. Smith. So she just came into the room. I guess the parents were in there with Maya, and she didn't identify herself, but she is a doctor. But not a medical doctor.
No.
And so she just started asking questions. They had no clue she worked for child services.
That's got to be illegal.
Seems to be. But
it doesn't seem to be because whatever. I'm not getting to that part yet. I don't want to skip ahead. But it's infuriating because I'm like, okay, she's recording. That's not great. We're talking about that legality. Yeah. But this is really fucking bad.
So Maya's put in state custody. The dad, they're like, you got to get out of here. Like, you're out. I was like, fuck. So this lady...
I'm like, this is awful.
This is a young girl. She is sick. They're saying, like, you're not sick,
but
by the way.
Exactly. They're like, there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah, you're not sick. And I was like, wait,
we just have to wean you off fucking ketamine.
I was in the same boat as you. I was like, how does someone's legs stop working? Like, it seems...
Your hands, feet, like, you could see it. Like,
and then, like, they'd be like, well, she looks fine, like, here. Like, they were watching her to be like, what's going on?
How do you not see a genuine parent, though? How do you not tell the difference?
I don't know. I mean, I think, like I said, this lady's personality, I think, the lawyer said, I think it was rubbing them the wrong way.
Because she was overly
aggressive and knew what she was talking about. So that was like.
But it wasn't like she was throwing gibberish at them.
No.
And what about this part bothered me, too, because they never said this either. Or maybe I was so angry I wasn't hearing them, but. They never said, call this doctor. Is that guy not credited? Is that guy not credible?
Eventually, he did come in.
No, immediately he should have come in.
Dr. K. I guess the lawyer said too.
Special K with a K needed to come in.
Doctor shopping, like if you're a parent and you're like, we can't figure out what's wrong with my kid, and you go to multiple doctors.
Sure.
They say they like keep an eye on that. Like, hey, like look out for that. Like, but it's like if you don't know what the answer is, what are you gonna do? Just nothing. Like what? I don't get what as a parent like what they want you to do. I didn't understand.
No, my sister was misdiagnosed a lot, and she had kidney disease. They told her she was ovulating, and they sent her home. She had polycystic kidney disease.
Jesus. But then nothing happened. Like, it's like, oh, sorry, we made a mistake. It's like, what the fuck?
And then they made some medical mistakes, and my mom did wind up having to go to court. But in court, they put this kind of shit, like they went here, and there. And at one point, I remember my mom, and she's weak like me this way, like can't talk about things. Yeah. So she was on the stand, and they were like, your daughter had AIDS. And in my mom's head, who was older, she's like, AIDS? Like, my daughter wasn't like, your brain doesn't work. Yeah. Like, wait, she's a needle user? She's a this? Like, what? Like, my mom was trying to figure it out. Like, why would you say that? And, but they're trying to throw the parent off and fuck with the parent's head because they're trying to win a lawsuit. It was a gigantic lawsuit that my sister was in because this is way off track, but they were, when she was on dialysis for a long time, like 12 years. And when you get a MRI, they put that blue dye in you to, to censor. Yeah. So, and it's a good thing. But if you're a kidney patient and you're on dialysis, you have to be dialysized immediately after. And if you don't, it will cause a lot of bad shit. And it did for my sister. It was a muscle hardening disease, which basically she drowned alive. Her muscles just started hardening all the way. So
the doctors didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't. Whoever did that obviously made a mistake.
Yeah, and then. Yeah.
The doctors, part of the arrogance of a lot of doctors is they can't say like, "Hey, I fucked up." So it's like, "Hey, let's get." Then the lawyers come in and just do every scummy trick, which is crazy. Like with this, you see it. Like they're like, "Dude, you fucked up," and they just won't say it, which is so frustrating to watch. Because like this family had been put through the ringer, and they won't say like, "Hey, we fucked up," or like what we're doing is wrong. They just won't do it.
Right? They don't admit shit. They just keep going because they're like, "Oh, we know this, and this," but you don't. You don't always.
Yeah,
and
you don't.
And you're looking at something. There's a genuine parent trying to figure out what is causing so much pain to her daughter.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go to fucking 80 doctors or whatever.
I think like you always see. I'm not a mother, but you always hear the mother bear, like the mother bear.
You're a father.
But like the mother bear.
Sure,
come out,
an overbearing.
We're like, for me, that's what like this woman was like. I'm fighting with everything I've got for my kid, and these people are like, oh, like they only saw that as a negative instead of seeing it as like she cared.
Right. And there's asshole parents there that are manipulating and doing all kinds of wild shit. And
but
they're
I think
good at it.
That's the minority, though, I think.
It is tiny. Yeah, I think.
So the lawyer said about
I hope so.
Beata, and I think the husband said it too, is like, she could be a little too direct sometimes. I think she was just like a bulldog. Have you ever met someone who's just like,
of course.
They're like, boom, they're in your face. They're like,
me when my mom's not good. I'm not good.
So they do a scene where Beata's filming because she filmed a lot of shit. She's on the phone with the nurse, and they're like, you can't talk with your daughter. This was, for me, like one of the few comedic spots in this whole thing. You hear the husband being like, drop it.
Yeah.
Stop.
Now it's causing problems at home.
He's like, hang the phone up. And then right after, and I wrote, who's taping this? I think it was the wife.
That's what I was
Right
thinking.
after, he's like screaming. And then you hear the poor son is like, "Mommy, please don't do what he's saying," because he's like, "Don't do this." Like he was worried that like they're gonna take her from us. Like
when she goes, "Your father's not always right." I was like, my heart. This poor woman is trying to like make sense of like, guys, listen to me. But the more she explains it, the more she says it, it comes off. There's language barrier. Yeah, she's got an accent. You know what I mean?
And I think the more she says, it's like, oh, she's coming off as crazy. You can see how someone could turn it of like, she's like, no, this is what you do. But when the father,
too many cooks in the kitchen sometimes. People like, go ahead, the father one.
When the father was screaming, it reminded me of Brody Stevens.
Yes, he did. Because
he's like, don't do this.
Do this. Immediately made me laugh.
I could picture Brody. Don't talk to them this way.
I definitely
don't do it.
I went from tears to screaming, laughing when he did that.
Because the father seemed like a really nice.
But he's also a settler, and I get yelled at for this.
What do you mean settler?
Settler, like my family does it. Like, okay, this is how it is, and that's it.
So like he doesn't like confrontation.
That's right. And so,
which I'm that way.
Right. My mom. This was my sister's wish. Like, don't not fight for this. Don't dare
settle.
Don't do what we do. Get out there, fucking fight these people. They're wrong. And my mom did, but it took everything.
Yeah.
It took my sister. Literally.
Do this.
It's crazy.
They have a shelter hearing. Did you find? I found this annoying. It's just a little
what do you mean?
Detail. The way they were putting the text on screen when people were talking.
Yeah,
they
like
were doing
over here.
And they were
I'm like, wait, what?
But they're also overlapping it while it was. And I'm like, it was hard to read. I was like, what the fuck is this? It was a weird stylistic choice. I mean, it's a very small.
But also, like,
detail.
I was thinking of this too, like with the mom, with all the details. Like, my nephew's a nurse and his wife's a doctor. So, like, during the pandemic, when my mom was sick,
does she shit on him? She's like, "Hey, nurse."
Well, he goes, "Hey, you little," but he always jokes like she outranks me at the hospital, but I outschooled her because he's got his doctorate.
So doctor nurse.
My Shawnee is brilliant, but so we would call him a lot and send him everything, and so he would give us say this, say this, say this. So now with our accents. We're like, no, I got to give her to you. You know what I mean? And
who's feeding them information?
So it made me think of this poor woman with her accent saying this stuff. And they're like, there's no way she knows what she's talking about.
She had kind
of
is that.
a mean thing to do to people, but she does know what
she's
she's
talking about. She had that Eastern European, like kind of cold, direct.
Exactly.
Like it wasn't the warmest delivery. So
right.
I think it was like, whoa, like why is this lady like yelling at us? But it was just how she was raised, where she's from was a factor.
And people never take that into it. Like,
when I think in here, people are like, whoa, this lady's coming on like strong.
And the dad's like, no, just comply.
Yeah, the dad's just like, let's just do what they say. But even then, you find out that it doesn't always work.
Never. It never works. So neither works, but there's a middle.
The mother just like completely collapses at the hearing.
I'm with her.
Which I think some of these people thought was probably put on. It wasn't, but I think in hindsight they did. Maya's placed in CPS control of the hospital. So she's just like a prisoner of the state, basically.
Easily.
In a hospital. Where they're not...
No problem. Nobody has any problem with this.
And they're not treating her for the problem she has.
Yeah.
They're treating her... I don't know what they were treating her. But they're obviously treating her for something because she's there.
But they're giving... Because she's complaining about stomach issues.
Yeah.
I heard them say Ativan. That's a pain relief thing. There's so many things. They're like, she's getting better day by day, and then she's like, I'm feeling awful. Like she's writing letters to her mom. And then when it started with the, I don't know if I'm no, because it says she's a cunt. When the lady was in the room, when they finally were allowed to talk to her.
There's two ladies. There was Dr. Smith, and there was this other lady
with the greasy hair. Kathy, I don't like.
Catherine Beatty, they were both. Terrible. Dr. Smith was worse, I thought, because she was so fucking cold and just didn't care.
She was super cold.
She reminded me of the head of the orphanage in Annie. Like just a mean, like doesn't like kids. You can tell. Yeah. Like, you're like, what the fuck is
Mrs. Hannigan?
Why does she work in this field? Like, you clearly don't care.
Little girl.
Yeah, this lady's just cold. Just a cold, heartless bitch. The Kathy lady, I think, was trying to do well and was just an idiot. I thought.
No.
You thought she was malicious?
I do, because
we go into some of the stuff she was doing.
Some of the shit she was doing and saying, it's a different kind.
I just remembered that and I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'm off on that. So the mom gets a psych eval. She doesn't have Munchausen's via proxy. They're like, but she is depressed regarding all the shit she's going through. So then they have a parent advocate, which I guess is just someone who kind of helps you through this, and they're telling her like what you said, like just be quiet, like go along with this,
comply,
get her out of the hospital, and like then never take her back to this hospital.
Yeah,
like never go back. And the dad was of that thinking. The mom was like, fuck that.
But how would you feel safe taking her anywhere else ever again, ever?
No, except for this Dr. Kirkpatrick, you'd be like, no,
maybe him,
or move to Mexico back to where you went. Like, we got to go to Monterey. Maya was 10 at this time. Didn't know. She said I had no clue. They didn't tell me where my parents were. That no one would answer me about this.
How?
Why can't they communicate? I don't get why the secrecy. Just say what's going on. Is it because of guilt or is it just like legality? I'm
assuming it's legal and it's like you can't like put anything else in this child's head. Like they're already thinking the kid's being manipulated.
Yeah.
They're already thinking, so they can't add to it.
But they were saying like they were like throwing in comments the girl was saying about her mom. Like
every time the mom would ask something wrong, and that
like,
lady would
excuse
chime
me.
in.
It was a 3-way call.
Mom, please refrain.
Redirect.
I was losing it.
Yeah, like
I almost broke my television.
Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's not good.
Dr. Kirkpatrick unknowingly throws fuel on the fire because he tells Beata, like, he sends her this long email and he's like, your daughter will lead a slow, painful death.
That's right.
Which he's being honest and he's being like concerned, but at the same time. But
he's also watching his patients go through this.
Yes.
So he's aware of what could possibly happen.
So they get this Catherine Beatty's social worker lady comes in. They Google her. I guess she was been arrested for child abuse.
Does she not have shampoo, this whore? Wash your hair. You're disgusting.
I like how that's what you took away.
Well, because I was so angry. I was just ripping her down.
So they find she has a record of child abuse. How do you have this job?
Easily, because they manipulate. They learn how to manipulate. They suck. Everybody has a past. Everybody has skeletons. Everybody has dumb shit they've done in their life.
Yeah, that's why you get into comedy. Not this.
When
you
else
think of this as a real field.
Hey, Kathy, I want you to start doing stand-up.
Yeah, she was terribly unfunny.
With your fucking glasses on your head. I hate you.
So this is where I forgot some details and said she may not have been malicious. She was
totally
telling Maya she would adopt her.
Exactly.
Putting her on her lap.
You're now manipulating this kid's head.
Telling her mom's in the psych or whatever. Psych or wherever she went.
She was, but you don't tell a kid that.
So then this weirdo is like, hey, I need to do this for, I guess, the court. She's taking pictures of Maya like in a sports bra.
Oh, yeah. Naked.
Maya's like, I'm screaming, crying.
Not naked. She had sports bra and like she's
underwear
begging.
Yelling, no. Parents weren't asked for consent, for
nothing.
Permission.
Full-blown minor.
Yeah, in her deposition, she's like, yeah, I didn't ask. Like, I probably should have. I was like, you fucking idiot. Like, it seems like a big deal. For a
giant deal
for a girl this age to be like, and what do you need? You could have done that. You could have done that with a T-shirt on.
Easily.
She's like, we need to see lesions and marks and shit. And it's like,
she did have some.
Why the sports?
Why
the sports bra? It's just a creepy.
I agree.
Element.
I agree 1,000,000 times.
Especially if someone's screaming while you do. It's like
begging.
Hey,
please don't do this.
And if you. For me, like a lot of that, I'm like, I don't know if she had kids, but like as a person, how does that not get to your heart? A kid who's like screaming, stop. Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, I got to keep doing this.
You really have zero heart.
Yeah, I was like, I was like, I don't.
You don't even have the little the Grinch heart. Yeah, you have a worse heart than
just a hole.
Yeah.
Show me a hole, Brian Holtzman.
Let me see the hole. Show me where the shit rolls out.
So this is where they did the long Holtzman, what are you doing here?
Sorry.
They have a long phone call with Beata and Maya. This was very odd because it was a long call, so they needed to provide footage behind the call. Did you notice this? So they were showing videos of pontoon boats in families at the beach at sunset. I was like, what the fuck is this? Because they needed to fill that time.
Right. What do we got in B-roll, guys?
It was just like generic.
Is there C-roll back there?
It was like generic stock footage of families like having a good time. And then the mom's like, I pray for you. And they show a woman crossing herself on the beach. And I'm like, this is terrible. This like is TV movie.
Production.
Yeah,
terribly.
Bad choice. I was like, this does not fit. Odd choices. Kathy accuses Beata of rule breaking during a call, the call above, and so like, but you could be suspended from your privileges, which is crazy. They give her a little bit, and they're like, we're gonna take it away. And she's like,
here's
what?
something.
They also told the parents like, don't talk to her about her health,
right?
About her treatment,
nothing.
So they basically would just be like, how you doing? And she's like, well, I don't like she doesn't like being there.
You can't even say how you doing because that kind of would be leading, and that's when this lady would.
She'd be like, excuse me.
Redirect, Mom.
Violation. And then she'd be like,
Oh, yeah.
then she'd be like, did you get the letter that I sent to Kathy? She's
Right.
like, Kathy did not receive a letter. You need to speak to so-and-so. I was like, this is so weird.
Well, why can't you just answer? Did you get the fucking letter, or are you going to give it to my daughter? I hate
It'd be
it.
tempting to be like, that fucking bitch, Kathy, because you know she's on the phone.
I literally feared thinking if, like, how my family would react to this.
Well, the mom was like, is Kathy in the room? But then that makes you sound suspicious, but also she's just like, I need to know.
Curious.
Yeah, but it makes you sound like you're doing shady shit, but she wasn't. Then the detective comes in. This part was weird. The detective was like really aggressive of like.
I don't like this, and the dad kind of fucked up on this one, I think.
So the husband, they show him listening to he didn't know the detective was recording, he says. And he says the detective didn't identify herself, like came in.
Not as a detective.
Yes.
But but then she said she did.
She said, who knows? So the husband, he's listening to his audio and he's like nodding, like, okay, I didn't fuck up there.
But this is John Hopkins, FYI. That's a big deal.
Yeah, the hospital. So they're like, he's like, I love my wife, but she is a pushy person. I was like, ooh.
But then also that question with.
They end it with like, if tomorrow you could get your daughter back, but it means she couldn't see your wife, would you do it? And he's like, yes, I would do it. But his lawyer, the family lawyer, was like, that's the only correct answer. What's he supposed to say?
Agreed. But at the same time, it was like.
I mean, you could say I'm not going to answer that, I guess.
It was a clear cut of them going after the mother.
Yes.
And
it's
trying
basically
to
like
wedge a huge divide in the family.
They're basically saying, you're cool.
You're cool because you're complying.
She's not.
You're laying down.
Yeah, like, what do we do here?
But the pit bull that you married, who loves her daughter and is trying to figure it out.
Polish pit bull is her MMA name in Poland when she was under 16. This is the saddest part. I mean, this is where we switch gears into ultimate Sadville. They have a hearing. They're constantly having these court battles. By the way, how much money do you have to, like, insurance?
That's what I'm saying.
The courts, like, they're just bleeding.
That's why people sue, because it's people like this who can't afford it that wind up taking loans, remortgaging shit, and then they are in an insane hole that they're like, I guess we sue, and then may or may not.
But then they tie you up. They tie you up on that with delays and whatever, all this bullshit.
Yeah.
The mom says at the end of the hearing, because they're like, you still can't see her. Maya's in the court, and she's like, can I hug her? And the judge is like, no. Why?
I would die right there.
What's the legal standing for that? Yeah. Why can't she hug her? What was she going to do? If you're so worried about her saying something, then stand close by.
Do you think she's going to steal her?
Is she going to
she's going to run out of the court?
Say something crazy? What are you going to do?
She's going to say, run, Maya, run. But I can't. The kid couldn't.
Yeah, so she's like, so they said that was like absolutely devastating for the mom, which I could see it would be, because you can't even see her.
Yeah.
And then like you can't touch your own child, which is, you think like, oh, or it's a free country.
And
like,
the
but
daughter's
you can't,
like, what is going on that we're in fucking court? What? Wait, what?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you go through this as a kid and like move on.
As a family.
Yeah. So then Kyle and the dad go to a birthday party. The mom's like, you guys go. I got a migraine. They come home. The bedroom door's closed. I'm assuming they're just like, she doesn't feel
sleeping,
well.
Don't bother her.
Don't leave her alone.
Let her get some rest. She's up all night researching.
For some reason, her brother shows up. It's something, either she probably texted him something alarming or he just had a bad feeling. I don't know why he showed up.
But they seem like that kind of a close-knit family with shit going on like that. Probably family members showed up all the time.
So he goes in the garage, screams for the husband, and it turns out the mom hung herself in the garage. 42 years old.
42.
Crazy. Obviously beyond sad.
The only reason is she's like, if I'm not here, they'll get her back.
Yeah,
it's the only reason.
I think that too. And then a weird part of me is like, is there a part of her where she's like, this is a giant fuck you to them and will like strengthen a case? Like, was she that like Machiavellian?
I think no. She was.
You just think it's like this will bring her back.
I think she was that hurt that she's like, I have to sacrifice myself to get this little girl back. It's me that's the reason that I can't get this kid. There's only that kind of thing. When you think it's you are the problem. You are the one holding this whole thing up.
And this is where I feel horrible for the brother.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's
right there. The dad, when he's on 911, he goes, please don't go in there. And the son, he's batting him away.
Yeah.
But the kid's like, wait, what? Like,
no, but also as him, he's thinking like, my mom didn't want to stick around, like
just for me,
which is tough. That's a tough thing to deal with.
There's a million psychological problems here.
Yeah, and this becomes the son's like whole existence,
and
like,
it became the mother's whole existence.
Yes,
and then it became the mother hearing in court, "You're the problem, bitch. You're the what." Basically that's what they're saying
to her.
Bitch.
Do you have the record?
That's how I feel they were talking to
they
her.
They were doing it without saying it.
This poor, and that's what I'm saying. So she was like, when somebody berates you that much, when you feel like just worthless and like you're the problem.
When if you're told something
that's
enough,
where you
can start believing it.
You start believing it.
Okay.
Like maybe I was manipulating my daughter. A million things could have been going through this woman's
head.
But
I think she knew she was right, but like you said, was like this is the path to getting her out.
Yeah, I'm the sacrifice.
Shortly after, lo and behold, they do let her.
They have to
give her back to the dad.
And in that text, she was we had another mom do that. Oh, I feel bad.
Yeah, two doctors.
They were doctors or nurses?
It was doctors.
They were doctors.
Dr. 1 was a real piece of shit.
Yes.
Dr. 2 said, I feel bad. Dr. 1 was like, oh, it was the right thing, but like, what can you do?
We did the right thing, yeah.
Like, fuck you.
It's the right thing to hold a kid for 87 fucking days without her mother.
Fuck you, Doctor Number 1, and that's a terrible name, and I hope no one goes to you.
They declined being interviewed.
Oh, shocking.
Imagine that, John Hopkins.
And John Hopkins gave a shitty statement at the end.
Trash.
All legal.
Trash hospital. Trash. They're in cahoots with so much bad shit. It's
legal
gross.
Jargon. They give the dad permission to go to Rhode Island to a specialist, and this guy's like, oh yeah, by the way, she has the disease that you were saying the whole time, which must have been a real, I think, feel good, but also feel
like,
terrible.
Fuck.
Yeah, like you assholes.
Over 3 months.
Yeah. So then a reporter, Daphne Chen, gets on the case. She publishes a story about all this, and then she just gets flooded with calls and emails from other parents who went through this with specifically this lady, Dr. Sally Smith, and John Hopkins in cahoots.
Yep.
Some parents were arrested. One guy did
a year.
Jail. One guy did a year in prison.
Oh, one family was still in jail.
They said some parents are still behind bars.
Fuck.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Like, I get that there's scum out there, but you got to be. By the way, the parents they were interviewing, that one I thought was a daughter.
Oh yeah, the one who looked very
Carly,
young. She was in a dress, like an Amish
and she was
dress.
in a dress, and I was like, Is she the parent?
She was young.
I had to rewind it. But was she like?
She could have been like young 20s. Who knows? She had a young kid, like a.
But she could have been. Was she a midget? I don't know.
Little person. How dare you?
Sorry, a little person.
Have respect for Natalia Grace.
But she was just little. Maybe
I don't know.
Not a little.
Maybe
not there. But she didn't look. She looked so young, and that one broke my heart too.
Yeah, she was. Like, if you don't know, imagine doing this with no medical knowledge.
Yeah.
Like if you're not a nurse, like you're like, what the fuck? When I go to doctors, I'm like, I don't know. Like when
they start, that one couple
they
was
start
like,
jargoning you, you're like, what?
Sure, I guess that's the right word.
Yeah.
You have
like,
no idea.
I don't know what's going on. And you just want as a parent, you just want your kid to feel better. That's like your only goal.
Yeah.
Beata, the lawyer they go with is like, her documenting everything is the reason we can sue because like we have all the information.
When they were showing that B-roll of them pulling all this back log stuff of things she kept. Oh, she kept a journal. She kept this. She kept that. She has this. They had like big boxes. I was like, whoa, that's a lot.
Yeah, this lawyer had his hands full.
I was like, oh shit.
I guess there's a thing called the case plan where you can.
Yeah.
And lawyers advise you to take this where you can choose to go along.
It's called the comply.
With the checklist the state has given you to get your kid back. If you do, though, once you agree to that and sign off on that, the hospital will not be held responsible for anything. So they're like, if you accept this, like, you're getting your kid back, but...
Unfucking believable.
Which is crazy. That to me, that seems like the hospital knows we need something to make us feel safe because, like, we're going to fuck up.
Yeah.
But, like, why not change this? Why not change these laws? Some of these laws. It's baffling.
Florida's, got so many laws they change. So many. You can't fix this?
I'm
You're
hoping,
worried about fucking drag queens, weirdo? Fix this shit.
I'm hoping that this documentary.
It's not just Florida. It's everywhere.
I am hoping this documentary, though,
everywhere.
like, will shine a light on this subject. Like she's getting on people, whatever, will be enough where some politician will see it and be like, we need to address this. This is an issue.
Because how does this kid and her brother and her father have a normal life after this?
A
normal, trusting.
She said in her deposition,
life.
She's like, I don't like going to doctors. How could you like going to doctors? After this, you're like, I don't want to go.
No.
She screamed at one of the, and he deserved it.
Yeah.
Because he's like, why? And she's like, how dare you ask me that? She's like, I was kept there for however long, 90 days.
It was 87 or 93.
She's like, and you have the audacity to ask me why I wouldn't trust a doctor? She's like, basically, fuck you. And she's like, and all this guy responds with, do you need a break?
But this is what I mean. This is what they do. This is
what
they did to my mom.
They want to needle
you.
This
is what, they fucking hurt you.
Yeah, they're like, to me, they're like, that's heartless. To watch that and not say, oh my, like, I'm sorry that happened. Nothing. Just like, oh, do you want a break? That's it. Fuck you. So they skipped to 2022. Sure.
It was 92 days in the state custody, but also, can I say, I wrote this note and I want everybody to hear it. Jeff, I hate you for making me watch this.
Didn't your friend also recommend this?
I forget who did.
I thought it was your fabulous special director, Lexi, recommended it as well.
Maybe. I don't know. But somebody else did say, oh, this is a good one. But I don't remember who it was. It could have been Lexi. But I did write that. Just want you to know. As I'm sobbing.
It seems like it's written through the pad there. I can see how
it's in Braille on the other side.
You etched it through, went all the way to the back. Okay.
So weird.
They flashed to 2022, which is recent, obviously. Trials going on.
Yeah.
John Hopkins, the lawyer, finds their billing insurance for CRPS the whole time she was in the hospital.
Right. Lots of money. So you charge them for this, you piece of shit.
For what you're saying she doesn't have. How is that not cut and dry? Like, boom, you fucked up.
How is that legal?
And they're like, oh, by the way, we need this insurance money. You scumbags. Of what you're denying that she has. The mother killed herself for this. And you're like, oh, by the way, we want the insurance money for what you say she has, but we say she doesn't.
Oh, man.
So they're getting cock-blocked by the courts. That's the legal term, I guess. And the courts need to decide. The judge showed up with a fucking, was that a big gulp? He had like a big gulp.
Was that the mom?
The judge had a fucking big gulp on the stand. I was like, and he was only there for 10 minutes.
Up, man.
So they need to decide if punitive damages can be involved in the case, and that's the big delay. John Hopkins, I think, they just want to keep delaying.
No, by the way, Google them. They're in cahoots with a lot of bad shit.
And the dad is like, basically like, we can't stop. Like, we need, because the son at one point breaks down.
For the mom, for the daughter, for everybody involved.
He's like, we can't let them win, basically. Like, this is what they want. We can't do it.
This was killing me, watching them.
Oh, especially their kids, the two kids. Imagine dealing with this as their age.
Yeah.
You have so much shit in your life where you think it's important, where it's not important. But you think of like, I have a dance, whatever it is.
And you're trying to have a normal high school life.
Yeah, have friends.
A grade school, high school.
They're also in school. Yeah. They're not just doing nothing. They're not adults. They're in school. Like, you're still working towards whatever you're working towards. Crazy. It ends with a letter from Maya to the mom, which is obviously sad. And then did they put in audio from the mom? I didn't get what they were doing.
I think
so. Was that AI or just old audio footage?
I think it was old audio because
it was like, I love you, Maya.
It was almost like what Maya was hearing. Be patient.
Yeah.
Because she would always do that. Yeah. Like in the worst, the daughter's screaming in agony in one of the audios, and the mother's going, just be patient. We're going to be there soon. Just be calm.
Yeah.
And that's hard, but that's why people get into, or supposed to be why people get into nursing. They have a good bedside manner and a good way with people, babies, kids, whatever. But that's how the mom, it felt like that's what the daughter chooses to hear in her head. Okay. And then shoot the letter to the mom.
By the way, you said the daughter like dressed up to the nines for the court.
Right. I was just thinking,
little
a little risque.
A little scantily clad. I was like,
but here's
it's interesting choice.
She's a normal teenage kid that is lost a lot of time. Like she's going to school. She's being looked at as sickly. You know what I mean? So
I'll say this, and obviously super sad story. There's not really a happy ending, but I was happy to see that she appears to be physically doing a lot better now.
100%.
She's walking. Like she's up,
out of the wheelchair.
Around. Yeah, so it was good to see that at the end.
But the pool exercise, we always talk about pool being the best exercise.
She's doing a lot of physical therapy. Which was good to see, but obviously this is going to take a huge toll on her for the rest. I mean, how could you not? They said at the end, they do like they did the blurbs at the end, and the case can finally move forward, I guess, in September of this year.
Yeah, back to the parents for a second.
That's soon. That's in like a month, 2 months.
The other parents, though, the one lady, the kid's doing better. It was the couple, and she sends them a Christmas card. She sends the CPS.
Dr. Smith a fuck you Christmas card every year.
And then the writing back.
Dr. Smith hit her up.
Mrs. Like, Graham, you are petty. Good get it, girl.
She's like, I got your Christmas. I got your Christmas card again.
I sent a Christmas. Look at us.
And then she said, "Oh, by the way, this is what my son like basically like fuck you. This is what was wrong." And she's like, I will now take that. It was such a rote, like lawyerly comment. It was like, I will take that diagnosis into consideration for the future. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, fuck you, Dr.
I have
Smith.
a sick
retire.
Joke. I have retire. Just get the fuck out.
Leave.
I have a sick joke in my head that the family, that Maya's family should send her like a hangman clue.
Jesus. Yikes.
What?
Yikes.
I'm a comic.
Yikes.
Sorry, but fuck her.
But we did
not Maya. Their family. I hope they win.
Yeah,
it's September 11th or something.
If you're any of these doctors or any of these people who are doing this shit,
you should really be ashamed of yourself.
Go
I know.
Fuck yourself.
People are screaming it from the mountaintops with this whole big pharma bullshit. All this kind of shit that's trickling down.
Yeah.
I mean, we say that one phrase, big pharma, but it is such a big umbrella, and they're in such cahoots with such wild shit. It's insane. It really is insane. God bless all the parents out there.
We gotta protect. I said to Courtney, I go, we can't take either of our kids to the ER. They may be scared. Legit.
God forbid. Yeah,
like,
God
geez,
forbid.
Man.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, we can't go to more than one doctor? Like if something goes wrong, it's bizarre to think of like people are watching.
And millions of times, people are misdiagnosed. My best friend Anthony had psoriasis, and they told him it was bug bites.
I also have this is list your ailments day. I have eczema, which is and it took me forever to get. I would tell my doctors, and they'd all be like, they'd look at me like I was crazy. And I since I was a young kid, I've been I've I don't know if I'm like my skin's dry.
Wouldn't that be part of the autoimmune
thing? It is, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
But they just wouldn't. No one knew. They were like, I don't know. And then I finally went to one dermatologist. Like, oh, you have eczema. But after a long time, and I was like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
I was coming in with the pictures. I go, okay,
You're
here's
like, hello.
I go, my skin itches. Here's what happens, and they're like, oh, I don't know.
See, you were detailing it.
Well,
That's
I just felt like I was losing my mind.
Meanwhile, my friend Anthony was going to Dr. Baldino.
Dr. Baldino's just like, he's like, you're not a lady, you should just get out of here. I don't want to see you. Can we end it with? Do you still have the clip from we wanted to do last show?
Yeah.
Just
a nice. We're gonna try to bring it around.
A nice pick me up if you're still here and you're not weeping.
I won't cry anymore. I did good. I did good because watching this, I did not do well.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
It's too triggering for me.
So here we go. I'll cue this up. We got it's called, what is it called? Claim to Fame, I guess, is a show where these people are in a house together.
I've heard about this because friends of mine were approached to do this.
I think I know who you're talking about. So these are people related to famous people. They're on a house, and they have to guess who the others are related to. But they give them clues.
Yeah.
And so here's the scene of like their equivalent of the rose ceremony.
Yeah.
And we got a woman and a man standing face to face. I think they're both on the chopping block. Here we go.
Right. So this is.
I helped you. Hugo, who do you think Carly's claim to fame is?
That's the Jonas Brothers, by the way. The two of them.
I think your celebrity relative is. Tom Hanks.
Well, let's find out if you're right. Everyone, please take a look at the screen.
I did not know that's the Jonas Brothers.
They're like unknown ones, I think. Jesus, they really dragged this out. Come on, speed it up.
Producers, man.
Did he give a countdown like it's a spacecraft?
Oh my God.
They showed Tom Hanks. They acted like they showed a fucking corpse.
Like they showed him feeling her up or something. What the fuck is this?
Congratulations, Hugo.
Okay, she's breaking down.
It is Tom Hanks.
Oh shit. So she's related to Tom Hanks.
They make it sound like a bad thing. They're like, oh shit.
But they're trying to hide who they're related to.
Yeah.
That's the whole premise of this.
So she lost the
And
game.
just like that.
And just like that.
Damn. These freaking colors are so freaking obvious.
Huh?
That's the freaking poster of freaking Forrest Gump. Are you kidding me? She's screaming. Why a bench?
Why a
There's
bench?
literally no reference to benches on any other movie. Even Gabriel found that out. He's not even like smart.
That's cold.
I didn't even get to do any challenges.
Oh, you poor thing.
I did not have that level of drama for the first guess off on my claim to fame bingo card.
I don't deserve this. I should have more camera time. I should be here longer.
And we're only on guess off number 1.
I think the right choice was made.
No one expected that. No one.
Oh my God. So
What an exit.
you're just hearing the audio, she's in the house. She's not
see
even
these producers here. Okay.
she's not even with the rest of the cast, but they can hear her screaming
Because she's hot mic'd.
by herself.
Holy
But they can also
shit.
hear her. They're not
Oh, right.
They can
'cause
just
she's
hear her.
in the house.
because they're like,
okay.
oh shit, they go, she's screaming.
So she fucking
They
flips
showed a
out.
bench. What movie has a bench?
Of course I went Forrest Gump.
So this was her big
Holy
shot.
shit. I wonder, is she a distant relative?
She's a niece.
A niece.
Big
Okay.
question is
She's a
what
pretty girl, and this is funny.
what's gone wrong with Chet Hanks and this girl?
What in the Chet Hanks?
Because I googled
of
it.
Hanks.
One, Tom Hanks is another. Chet Hanks is a brother. It's not Colin. They're Colin's
Oh, yeah,
another.
yeah, sure. Colin's great.
Colin's
though, by the
another
way.
marriage.
But I like, yes, I like Chet too. He's
So
wild.
maybe it's Rita. Maybe she's the problem.
Ooh,
So,
Rita
but I didn't know
Miller.
Chet Hanks has a brother. I had no clue. I was watching a show and it said something Hank because Tom Hanks. It's a man called. It's a movie. A man called Otto.
That's
which-
great.
Based
Yeah.
on a book. They changed the name of the Swedish book. It was Ove. I was like, what? We want to understand the name Ove.
Yeah.
So, but the young Tom Hanks was like something Hanks. I was like, who the fuck is this? And it's Chet Hanks' brother. I had no clue there was another one.
Yeah. There's but I
Chet
people,
Hanks sucks.
But he's funny.
How is he funny?
He's nutty. He's fucking
yeah, he's a
nutty.
fucking-
Wasn't he Jamaican for
Yeah,
like
he was
a
doing
year?
patois. He's like, big up. It's the worst.
But
And then he's like double down. He's like,
this
I
is
can
the
talk
reason-
like that. Whatever. Who cares?
This is the reason I say that I like him is because
He
Tom
sucks.
Hanks couldn't be more clean cut.
No,
Supposed
he played
bullshit.
Mr. Rogers because
Right.
he basically is our
So
Mr. Rogers.
He's 100%, and they keep trying to. He's a pedophile. He's this. He's that. Like they're pushing agendas to get him canceled.
I've always said if there is a smoking gun on him, it would
It would already be.
but it would shock me.
It would fuck me up.
It's like him and Michael
would-
J.
yeah.
Fox are the two of my nothing.
No.
They're untouchable.
Don't touch them. Yeah, and they're perfect in every role.
They seem nice. Yeah, they seem like they work hard. They're good at what they do.
They're what like the good American standard is based off of. So then there's fucking Chet. It's like everybody, every kid is a wild card.
Chet's
Great.
He's terrible.
It's great.
I once saw it was during
It
the
shows.
pandemic.
It makes Tom Hanks look normal.
It was at
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, it makes him relatable.
It makes him
You're
relatable.
like, even Tom
You're
Hanks
like,
is
okay,
he is a fucked up
even
kid.
Tom has a fucking wiggly sperm, if you will.
He is do they talk, by the way?
I hope so.
Like Chet's like, yo, son, what's up,
Colin's
Pops?
just studying him
He's like, what's up,
to
Pops?
play him in the movie.
He's like, yeah, word is born. He's like, what are you up to? Colin seems like exactly like Tom. He's like
he's fun. I mean, he's a good actor, but Chet's wild, just a different.
Some tells me Colin and Chet aren't too close. Different
now
marriages.
We got this one.
And this lady's coming. She should
coming in hot.
She should date Chet.
This one's
first
coming
cousins.
in hot. Yeah. I don't even get to do any challenges. What are the challenges?
Who cares?
By the way, I know about a lot of the rules.
What's the prize on this thing? 50 G's?
I don't know, but I do know about a lot of the rules, and that was the reason my friend said no.
Okay.
There was too many. It was too many. Like they really do make you cut off from
you're
no
locked.
phones,
You're
no
locked
anything.
in. This
You're
house.
locked in.
Yeah, with these people.
Yeah, you have no communication to the
You're
outside
locked in
world
with
at all.
Stevie Wonder's niece.
You see what they want you to see, and that is it. And that is kind of scary, like cultish-y, but it's
they don't want you to leak.
Sign away.
They don't
yeah,
want you to leak any of this shit.
They don't want you not only leaking it,
They're
but looking shit up.
They're making great TV. They don't want you to ruin it. They don't want you to ruin it.
Yeah, there's
I'm
only
kidding.
we're a season away from The Running Man, like everybody says.
I
think Rogan used to say that. I think it was his joke. He used to say that.
Todd Bridges, brother-in-law.
Oh, I love Todd.
Like,
he was a comic at the store.
I didn't even get to do anything. What movie on the bench?
And that's a big name, though. You know what I mean? Like,
why were they all so shocked when they saw the picture of him? Just like, oh, they got it? I didn't really get what was.
She's fucking related to Tom Hanks.
This bitch, this annoying piece of shit.
That's the top of the food chain.
They're like, whoa, I can't believe if one of his family members would be low enough to do this show.
And it's not Chet.
They're like, oh, our family members are terrible. Belinda Carlisle is my mother. Who cares?
Oh, how dare you? She's great.
I just threw that name.
All
out
right,
there.
I
No
like
offense
it.
to Belinda Carlisle.
But so I hope this kid gets a career of at least
I think
yelling.
she will. She seems like a good person, good head on her shoulders. She took this like a champ.
Very took it. She's very easy to work with.
Packing her bags, screaming. She called the
get
guy
more
stupid, and the guy could hear it. He's an idiot. He knew. I bet maybe
What's a bench?
Maybe the producers were like, "Fuck this."
The
lady.
bench is pretty fucked up. I'm on her side with that. I mean, you think about if there was a feather too. Fuck that.
Why didn't they do just the box of chocolates? Like make it a little harder.
A little.
Where you have to
gotta
hey,
go
what's
a little
that?
more obscure.
Like,
even apple. Well, that might have been
maybe
shrimp. Something.
AIDS
Nah,
medicine.
shrimp is too much. AIDS.
Maybe a legless man. They bring a legless man in a military outfit.
Or the mom sleeping with
Lieutenant Dan.
or the mom
Yeah, maybe a mother
sleeping
fucking
with the principal.
Sally Fields fucking a principal.
Boss, can't go to this school. Oh, he can't.
Maybe some leg braces.
Yeah, it's a little.
Maybe some Toy Story stuff.
The Washington Monument, something like that.
A Mermaid Tale. There's so many movies you could pick from.
That movie was so fucking long, but the bench was on the poster.
When he sits on the bench the whole, it's like an iconic
Right, but
thing.
it's on the poster. That's really iconic. That's bad.
Do you think Tom called her like regarding this? Like, hey, way to really represent the
And I think the
family.
kid who said Tom Hanks was shocked that he got it right.
Oh, you think he was?
A little bit, because he was like, because you know he's going to the highest.
Oh, he's gonna get that 20 grand in the Target gift.
No, but
card.
he's picking the highest person. That's
Yes.
like, you know.
I think they are surprised that somebody
Sure.
in the Hanks family would do this. Like, wait, why are you here? Is he not?
Shit's real.
Is he not helping you? Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
exactly.
But I think now you can see why maybe he wouldn't want to help.
Andrew always jokes that Dice always jokes that he don't put Rita in enough movies. Like he does. Help Rita. It's so
What
funny.
about My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
Oh, why?
Why didn't they put that? Some Greek yogurt or something.
Something. He was in My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
It was Rita's movie.
Oh, it was her movie. Right,
She's
right,
Greek.
right.
He married into a Greek family.
Right. Okay, yeah. But yeah, that would be obscure.
Then you make him work.
Yeah.
Then
But she wasn't using Rita.
who are these? How many
She wasn't
Jonas
using
brothers
Rita
are there,
as
by the way?
She wasn't using Rita as the actor she's related to.
No. How many Jonases are there?
There's four.
4?
Mm-hmm.
So these are the 2 unknowns?
No, one of them is in the group.
So one of them's known.
One of them's a younger
And then
brother.
one of them's just like
He was on like their show back in the
got
early
it.
2000s.
So they've been trying to
I have
help
no
him.
idea.
and he's
If the Jonas Brothers were here, as my mom would say, sitting on my lap, I wouldn't know who they were.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big Jonas guy.
Didn't we know somebody related to them?
They said they were, and then it turns out that this show would have been like, sorry, you're not going to get on the show.
You can't be on
I remember this person was telling us all at the Comedy Store, like, yeah, I'm first cousins with the Jonas Brothers. And we're all like, what? You are? And then someone's like, they're at the House of Blues.
Yeah, they're across the street. Want to go over?
Tonight. And he was like, no, I don't want to bother him. Like, no, you're cousins. We
You
were
can
all
at
like-
least wave.
And everyone was like, lie. Lie. That is a lie. Proven wrong.
A lot of lies at the store.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks for sticking.
Sorry about the sad one, but we're going to get an upbeat.
We got Stevie coming up next. Seems upbeat.
Stevie.
Seems like it's humorous.
I haven't
let's
even
hope
looked
so.
yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, let's hope. And all right, guys. Thanks for sticking through it. Sorry
Thank
for
you.
the depression.
Sorry. Get your tissue. Spoilers.
We're gonna go on a streak of happy, wild, fun times.
Yeah.
Topless.
I'll come in topless next time.
That's not happy or fun or wild.
That's uncomfortable for everyone.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Yeah, bye.